Alan, I also wonder if there's something about given that some of the information we got on these two suspects came from their own sort of, I think it was either Facebook page or sort of a Russian equivalent where one of them talked about not having any American friends, not being able to understand Americans. I almost sort of wonder if all of us now sort of walk around, any of us who have Facebook pages or social media, if something were to happen to us, a lot of how people might either remember us or describe us or characterize us will be based on our own words and things that we put up on these social media pages. And for that reason, maybe we all need to sort of take a second look and make sure, okay, is the last thing we want people to know about us, some nasty comment that we made about somebody we don't like or a generalization that we make about an entire group of people?
Well, I think we've hit on two different issues of internet literacy, and that is what you've just described, that you will be remembered for what is on your social media pages as a profile. And also, how do you process all that information coming in and know what's trustworthy and what's not? And both of those are very important things for people to consider, and more reason for people to become fluent in how to use this technology, how to interpret the information, not to rely on Twitter as the source, but rather as the lead, to be verified, not to be careless in terms of what you put online and flippant necessarily. I mean, there are a lot of kids out there that just don't realize that they put pictures of themselves drinking or smoking or doing or saying bad things, and when they go to apply for colleges or they apply for jobs, that their employers or potential universities are checking their background online to see what kind of person this person is, what kind of risk they are, what kind of person, what kind of activities they have. And, you often make a lot of mistakes before you understand how you should act and behave online. And this is a good reminder that we have to be careful.
And then finally, Alan, I know that a lot of the younger people are using Twitter. In fact, a lot of schools are monitoring Twitter because of some of the online bullying that goes on there. For somebody who is sort of new to Twitter, somebody who's young, any sort of words of wisdom or advice to them about Twitter and the reasons that they need to either be careful in terms of what they say or even how they view messages that are said about them?
So it's always important that you should never put anything on social media that you don't want your mom to know about, that you don't want to be on the front page of the newspaper. I always draw a distinction between private and personal. I'll tweet personal stuff, like, I had lunch with David Shuster at this restaurant, great conversation, great food, but I wouldn't talk about my relationships or my health or those kinds of things, which I consider to be personal. Private, rather. And then if you encounter bullies online, I think the most important thing to remember is that what the bully reveals when they bully you is their problem, not yours. And if you remember that it's what they're saying is not a reflection of who you are, but a reflection of their problems and who they are, it's much easier to ignore them. It's much easier to let it go and just block them if you feel if they're obsessive in bugging you, and just ignore them and don't let them get under your skin. Once you start, because the whole point of what they're trying to do is to get you to engage, is to get you to reveal and open yourself up to more attacks, and the less opportunity you give people, the better.
Excellent stuff as always. Alan Rosenblatt, you can follow him on Twitter at Dr. Digipol. Alan, have a great weekend, my friend. Thanks as always.
Take care, David.
Alan Rosenblatt. Coming up, our Activist of the Week segment when Take Action News continues.